what are your, and I know this is probably in the meat of our discussion, like, so what are the no-nos? Like, what are people doing when they get pulled over? Let's say some Friday night, it's Friday night. Well, me and you go for a happy hour, and I decide to not Uber or Lyft or use a ride sharing service, and I'm fine, and I take off and see the flashing lights. What should I do?
So we'll get into that for sure, but their investigation has already started at that point. Their manual has 26 vehicle in motion cues that they're starting to look for, that would cue them to think that this might be a DUI investigation. Of course, anytime you're pulled over, which could be an equipment violation, things that I like to call instant probable cause, right? So your license plate light is out, your registration is expired, your brake lights aren't working, you didn't turn on your headlights, used to be a very common reason. Now most of our cars turn them on for us, but we still see cases where people don't turn on their headlights, and that gives the cops a reason to stop. That might not directly lead, well, the headlight issue is actually on their list of cues during the vehicle in motion phase. But, license plate light being out or brake lights not working, those don't necessarily mean somebody's under the influence. But if it's something where it's caused by the driver's inattention, that might be there.
Okay. So that's what they're looking for. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So if that, like, speeding is not on the list because alcohol is a central nervous system depressant and would cause you to drive slower if you're under the influence of alcohol. So when I get a case where somebody's allegedly going over 100 miles an hour and zipping in and out of traffic, I say, that doesn't sound like somebody who's under the influence. You may have some other crimes going on, but that's not alcohol impairment. Maybe it's cocaine impairment. We got a whole nother problem, but that's not alcohol impairment that's causing that.
Well, that's good to know.
Now, once they come up to your window, they are trained to try to divide your attention because they're trained that people who are under the influence cannot divide their attention. And driving is a divided attention task, right? You have to focus on the road. You have to remember to turn on your headlights, use your turn signals, pay attention to what's going to notice that stoplight changed up ahead of you. You have to divide your attention. So the police are going to try to work on dividing your attention. They're going to ask you for your license, registration, and insurance. And at the same time, they're going to ask you questions. Hey, where are you coming from tonight? Where are you going? And they're watching to see how well you can get the stuff they've asked for and respond to their questions at the same time. You don't even realize at this point that they're investigating you for a DUI. Oh, wow. And they are, and it matters. So as far as what you should do is, obviously be polite, give them the documents that they ask for. There's no real way around that. And avoid answering questions though. I'm sorry, officer, I don't want to answer your questions. It's that easy. You don't have to answer them.
You mean I don't have to talk to a cop if he's asking me, a police officer, a question, if citizen of the law, he's asking me a question, I got to answer him.
Nope. You do not have to answer. You can simply say, I don't want to. Or you can say, I'd love to cooperate, but my attorney would kill me. Call Don, 888 DUI hero.
I love that. Okay.
Anything you want to say is, be polite and respectful. Say, officer, I really respect what you're doing here, but I'm just not going to answer your questions. Okay. And there's nothing they can do about that. There's no law that's, contempt of cop or, something that can allow them to arrest you based on that. Now they're also they're taught to look for what they can see, what they can hear, what they can smell. So they're looking at your face. Are your eyes, watery and red? Is your face flushed? Does your speech sound like it might be slurred, even though they've never talked to you before, right? So they don't know how you normally talk, but very often they're going to say that your speech was slurred. They're looking for you fumbling with those documents if your dexterity is impacted.
Okay.
They're smelling for an odor of alcohol. And if they smell an odor of alcohol, they pretty much have probable cause to make an arrest based just on that, the courts have held.